This is not a commentary on any person, not about a relationship, not about anyone's story. It is a mirror held to the world, to the structure of how dependency is taught, normalized, and mistaken for love. Every human life moves through a web of needs, expectations, and silent contracts. Not just between male and female bodies, but between siblings, parents, and children, friends, strangers, governments, banks. At the root of it, an example. The male body is drawn towards intimacy for reproduction. It's natural. Without it, this human story would fade. But something happens. Lust was mistaken for love. From the beginning, conditioning is drawn to an image, and when that image fades, it is no longer attracted. In the beginning, the female receives full attention, but the attention is not to what truly is. It's to the body, to the form, to the appearance. The body changes. Conditioning may notice, but it is not drawn to what has changed. It stays fixed on form, on youth, on surface. So when form fades, attention moves elsewhere, to another form, to another image. Not because love is lost, but because it was never love. It was attention tied to form, not to the light within it, which never fades. So she returns the affection in the beginning, believing it will last. But it was given to her form. Over time, the form fades, skin sags, and when the image no longer matches the conditioning, the attention fades. And with that, dependency takes hold. Relationship that began with desire, with charm, with effort begins to change. The messages slow down, the warmth fades, but the expectation remains. Yet the cause of that charm was biological driven. When it shifts, the mind clings, not to love, but to the memory of love. Then suffering. This pattern repeats. Siblings depends not just for connection, but for memory, status, protection. Parents raise children not always from pure care, but from a belief that these children will care for them. Children, in turn, long to escape that obligation, not from cruelty, but from the same conditioning. Even in childhood, minds are trained to replace the old. A toy is given, it sparks joy, but soon it loses its charm. So another is given on birthdays, holidays, surprises. Joy returns not from the toy, but from the newness. And so a silent pattern is born. What is old is discarded. A phone slows, it replaced. A car wears, it replaced. A house fades, it replaced. And without knowing, that same conditioning turns towards people. Parents grow old, the body changes, the image fades. The same mind that was trained to discard the old feels the same pull, not from cruelty, but from unconscious habit. New things were always desired, but now the mind is tied to the same bodies. So boredom is not personal, it is learnt, it is patterned. It is inevitable, unless the illusion is seen. So care becomes burden, presence becomes obligation. Still, the part is played, I'm a good son, I'm a loving daughter, but beneath it, the fear of being seen otherwise. Even the nations mirror this. Countries lend with interest, banks offer credit, not from generosity, but from business. You depend on loans, they depend on interest. This world moves as machine of mutual expectation, silent, invincible, exhausting. Look closer. A job appears secure, but exists to fuel desire, to buy holidays, maintain image, acquire luxury. Once one desire is met, another arises, so more work is needed. Big homes required upkeeping, luxury demands maintenance. To preserve them, dependency grows on income, on approval, on image. Each desire becomes a master. Yet survival is simple. A few pieces of bread, some fruit, shelter, a clothes for the body. It does not take much. It does not demand anxiety or performance. But the conditioned image that must be seen as someone requires a servant. It must earn, impress, perform, please. Even entertainment teaches dependency. Films show heartbreak, then healing through a new partner. Love is shown as a need, not a revelation. From early on, the minds are trained to find fulfillment through another. Even while watching, the mind becomes dependent on the story, dependent on watching dependency. It is no one's fault. These patterns were inherited, taught, celebrated. Every story, every show, every song tells you what to desire, then hands you the role to play. But underneath it all, identity is shaped by expectation, not truth. The image of self only exists in contrast. It needs feedback, reflection, validation. Without them, it dissolves. But the body? This body breathes without help. It digests, feels, sees, touches. The heart beats without approval. The life functions silently, fully, without anyone's help. Dependency was never real. It was a dream. This is truth. True love is not image, not in body, not in charm, not in form. It is the light that does not fade. It does not need to be seen. It does not grow or shrink. It is because it is. And when this is seen, not as belief, but through seeing how suffering operates, the illusion falls. What remains is independence, not isolation, but the independence that needs nothing to be what it is, silent, whole, undivided. This is freedom. This is peace. This is love. What is mistaken for someone is love itself, is peace itself, is freedom itself.